Feel free to speed up this video to your liking. It's interesting to see the transition, isn't it? I'm more aware today as I relay these messages to you. I'm aware of my surroundings. And for some reason, I don't know why, I feel more aware than what I have before. But this is a new experience for me as it is for you. My teacher, one of my teachers in the trance world, trance channeling, has brought to my attention that there are different and deeper levels of trance. So we want to speak of the man named Edgar Casey, who was well known to go into a deep trance state of basically what appears to be asleep. But he was not asleep as it had appeared. He preferred to lie his body down. And some people can trance channel information, like Esther Hicks, who prefers to walk around or sit. As of now, I prefer to sit. I usually have my legs crossed up on my lap, but it's interesting that they're actually both on the ground today. And this is important to understand because we are affected by how we position the body in whatever it is that we do. And there's a story that is being brought to my attention of the other day. I saw these two young boys. They appeared to be brothers. They were very good boys, behaving well, but they were on a computer of some sort, maybe a phone. And they were so slouched over that it looked painful. I don't believe that they were in pain. So what is the message here? That we need to be aware of the body more, because it not only will physically change or alter our experience, but also to be mindful of how we feel from both the inside out and the outside in. So when we are uncomfortable, it may have a hard time concentrating, but it does do good depending on what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to train the brain to accept being uncomfortable, such as a cold water therapy, then that is a different aspect of what it is that we are telling you. And instead, this is more about how we can change what it is that we are doing that is negatively impacting us. So we can still change it, but if we are uncomfortable, that is going to affect our work. So that is why I, Tabitha, prefer to sit really straight up. Now that's my preference. I feel comfortable. I'm also a yogi. I'm a yoga teacher and I do yoga almost every day. And so I can feel the difference of when I'm slouched. Sometimes I slouch when I eat because it's the end of the day. and I just want to consume food. But when we are sitting tall, we can receive this information much easier. And it's not just channeled information like what I'm doing. It's receiving the intuitive information for your own life as well. See, when we are hunched, is a good way of explaining it. It's just a word to explain my meaning here. When we're hunched over like this, we are restricting the energy flow as best it could possibly be. And it affects our confidence. Okay. Now, this is different than from someone who has a physical ailment of some sort that would have a different degree. But for the most part, a lot of us are starting to slouch. Now, it's interesting that I'm bringing this up because I had no clue that I was going to talk about it. So, becoming more mindful of the way that we are allowing ourselves to connect to Source, God, energy, the universe, whatever your preference is of how you would like to explain this. This is a deeper connection that you can make. And that's why they teach in meditation the importance of sitting properly. Now, you don't have to be up on a mountain somewhere necessarily, right? We can be in our very own comfort zones of our homes, or traveling or sitting in our car for a quiet moment to get away from the kids or whatever it is. Allowing ourselves to be mindful of the breath, the mind, the body, relaxing one space within the body at a time. When we allow ourselves to release the tension of the muscles, we are allowing ourselves to become a clearer channel, because when we are restricted, even when we're not aware of it, we restrict also the intuitive information that we would otherwise receive much easier. Thus, make better decisions, feel better about ourselves, create what it is that we want, do what we want, even though we're terrified because we get in our minds, right? And so when you learn to mindfully relax the body, the breath, it is a direct connection to the mind, thus allowing you to receive the information that you are seeking. How can I make this better decision? What is best for me to do? What's the answer? We all do this. We all do this. So it's okay. Oftentimes when I am meditating or in this state of trance beforehand as well, when I get into this state, I receive messages. I would call them messages, but they're little blips of flashes, answers, information that drops in. Some people call them downloads, right? And voila, there's the answer. So if we're going to take it to human level, let's give an example. I have been considering changing in my business from one platform to another platform to house my courses that I teach. Okay, so this is a very human example of, should I do this or should I do that? And as I'm sitting in trance, meditation, connection, whatever you'd like to call it, I received this simple thought, well, you know, they're offering a 2-week trial period. You can test it out and see if you actually like that? It sounds silly, but I received the answer without feeling like I was stressed out. So I received an answer. It's not the answer necessarily, but I feel like it is in the moment, to test it out. And then I can meditate again and ask a different question. And I did not actually ask the direct question. I believe that Spirit knew this has been on my mind. So the more that you allow yourself to get into a state of meditation, connection, sitting in the power, trance, guided meditation. What is that other one called? Transcendental meditation, transcendental, binaural beats, all different ideas. Drumming. I'm hearing drumming. Music. All right? Candle, flame, scent, incense, frankincense specifically. All of these elements will help you get into that state of flow. Thus, relaxation, thus receiving information, thus allowing yourself to connect with Spirit, God, Source. Thus, ultimately creating what it is that you want, whether it's externally manifestations or inner peace. Now, when I say inner peace, it feels very far-fetched, far out there. It's a fairy tale inner peace, right? Whatever you want to call it. What is it that's messing with your mind? What is it that's stopping you? What is it that's getting in the way? It's essentially our own selves. Now, we don't mean to stop ourselves sometimes. Oftentimes, it's very deep. It's subconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. We don't even know a lot of times. But then as you start to develop personal awareness, you begin to start to notice how you are stopping yourself from creating the life that you want. And damn it, now you have to be responsible. Now I know that I'm stopping myself. Shit, now I have to be responsible. We don't want another responsibility. We want to blame everyone else. That's so much easier. We want to have an excuse. We want to stick to our addictions. I say this about myself as well. Trust me, I have my own addictions, especially to food, which stems back to childhood, teenage years, finding the comfort. Now there's addictive elements, chemicals in the food, so that doesn't help, but that can be beat, that can be transformed. It's the subconscious energetic chemicals within the body and the mind, the soul, everything. That's harder to transform, to beat. That's harder to surpass than a outside physical element that we choose to consume. It's the deeper shit, it's the emotional stuff that gets to us. Trauma. And so we attach subconsciously the trauma to something that we then become addicted to. And so we allow ourselves to use that addiction to soothe ourselves. And then it makes me think of the cold tub, the cold plunging. We're going to go back to being uncomfortable intentionally to train the brain to get out of the fact that we need to be in our comfort zones all of the time. It doesn't have to be cold therapy. It could be adventure, something scary, something that you never thought you'd do. Skydiving. Doesn't have to be that. It could be moving out of the relationship that you know that you need to escape from. That's scary. That's breaking the chain that is holding you back. You remain in these situations because you have it tied to something that gives you some sort of comfort in some way. That's the addiction, the thing that you need to change. But you tie it energetically to this sort of idea of comfort. But it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable emotionally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. Is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's your soul talking to you. You no longer need those things. You can feel it in the body. You can feel it in the mind, in the chest, the heart, the throat, the tears. It's not to blame you. It's to become more aware, to push past the threshold, to detach from the comfort zone, to build yourself a different kind of comfort zone where you are giving yourself love, compassion, a chance to grow the way that you want to grow. Becoming more mindful of the body, allowing yourself to connect. You must do that, especially now. Especially now with so much technology. Now there are benefits, obviously. Here's one right now. You can receive this energy. I send it to you, and you choose to receive it or not on different levels. But there are also the technology concerns where we are addicted. And why would we be addicted to this? Well, there's many different reasons physically, as far as the lights coming from the computers and the phone and the social anxiety. And I don't want to deal with everything else, so I'm going to take my phone and I do it too. So I'm not pushing this out on you. I do it too. But the more mindful, you knew that was coming, didn't you? The more that you can change your reality. What is it called? A theme comes to me as exposure therapy, right? Just little bits at a time. This doesn't have to be something that you're scared of outside of you. This could be something internally that you're nervous to address. This could be an experience from the past. This could be an emotion that comes up. It could be a reaction to a mental thought that you have. And so when these things pop up, please come back to sitting in the power, connecting to this source. You may think, I don't know how. Oh, there's an excuse, right? I don't know how. I'm not gonna worry about it. There are resources below this video. It's interesting that Source wants me to mention these things, right? But this is part of the process for me as well, and for you, additional resources to use. These are good. Of course, figure that out for yourself, because you are the only thing that can create your reality. There are, of course, outside sources and resources and energies that affect circumstances, your reality. But how do you want to perceive this situation? Now, it doesn't mean you always have to be happy, right? Because happiness all the time is not good for you. If you are happy 100% of the time, all of the time, there might be something what we would call as off, right? Something's not right. And this doesn't mean anything is wrong, but the idea is that the human experience is all about the emotions, and the emotions fluctuate and change and alter and get you riled up. They get you sad, they get you happy, excited, all these different feelings. So it is a whole spiel of emotions. So it is normal to experience these emotions. Now, I do not remember where I was going with that, but that's okay. The message here, if we were to sum it up for you, is that becoming more mindful of the way that your body is. Now, we're not talking about weight necessarily, although that's a different topic, but more about the anatomical structure, right? The shoulders back, the sitting tall, chin up. You know, this isn't pompous, right? This is allowing for source to connect with you. If you're like this, not paying attention, it's harder to get through to you. Once you allow us to work with you, God, source, energy, you'll begin to receive the answers, the clarity, the comfort, the reassurance, the messages, the validation. You can receive all of this for yourself by connecting to your very own source that you are consisting of in this very moment. You basically receive the answers from yourself. You are your very own higher self, godlike source, angelic representation. Make the time. You may think you don't have the time, but you do. Because time helps us stay organized. Tick tock, tick tock. But time is forever. It's not restricted. Yes, we age. You see that we age. But that's a different kind of time. Please don't allow that to get to you. Because it's your energy, and it's the connection, it's the faith, it's the hope, it's the belief, it's the prayer, it's the journaling, it's the asking for help, it's the I'm open, I'm here to receive, I would love for your help. It's all of these things that will direct you toward what it is that you desire. It's not wrong to desire anything manifesting, materialistic. It's not wrong to desire these things, because if you're working on yourself, then you deserve things that will make you happy, that will give you a sense of peace. They're tools, right? But the problem is the overconsumption. I'm going to buy this because it's going to help me with this. I'm going to do this, and I'm prestigious, and I'm better than you. I hope no one takes that personally. And if you do, a resource, the 4 agreements pops in. So I do hear my sweet little pup over there stirring away. She is needing me, which I knew that was going to happen. She's about 15, and her name is Zenith, and she's a good girl. So I shall leave you with that. You have the power You have the time. You have the knowledge. If a thought pops up while you're meditating, that is normal. Your mind's never going to fully turn off. Even when you're sleeping, it doesn't turn off. It goes. So just notice the thought. Oh, there's a thought. Okay. All right. I release that. I don't need that thought right now. I'm going to return back to the breath. The more that you do this, the more that you will notice your life becomes easier. You might not see it that way at first, but it does. So, kudos to you. Thank you for watching. Again, please share this, like this, comment below. Let me know what you learned from this. What did you love about this? There's resources. Please utilize them. And so it is.